we protect each other's mental space. If you ever need me, just call. I'ma come running, give it my all. Love is love, God wins. Keep your vibrations high and watch how your blessings. Why do you deny me? You chose the lie created for you just to hide in. Why obsessed about surviving? Fighting over creation made for all to thrive in. When love speaks, you say you're listening. I wonder if you hear me. Love is love, love is love. Always is, always was, will always be just love. Always complete, always enough. Love is love, love is love. Always is, always was, will always be just love. Always complete, always enough. Love is love. Was your heart ever my home? So cold that chaos sits on your throne. Stuck in a loop for how long? Your pride convinced the right is wrong. When I speak, you say you're listening. When will you ever hear me? Love is love, love is love. Always is, always was, will always be just love. Always complete, always enough. Love is love, love is love. Always is, always was, will always be just love. Always complete, always enough. Love is love. Was your heart ever my home? So cold that chaos sits on your throne. Stuck in a loop for how long? Your pride convinced that right is wrong. When I speak, you say you're listening. When will you ever hear me? Love is love, love is love. Always is, always was, will always be just love. Always complete, always enough. Love is love, love is love. Always is, always was, will always be just love. Always complete, always enough. Love is love.
Grand Rising, Namaste, Ashe, salutations, shalom, peace, peace, peace. Hope everybody is in good energy, right? And despite everything that's going on, I hope you are feeling great, not allowing things to get the better of you. We do have a gifted song by Ren Stational. I hope I said that right. An amazing writer. So shout out to Ren Stational. And I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. Great, an amazing songwriter. So shout out to that person. And here's the world premiere of the song that they gifted us. So they blessed us with something beautiful. And it sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. They did a great job. So everybody, put your hearts and stuff in the comment section for this new release. And we are going to put the 8-song album together today. So if you got anything that you want to add to it, please, try to send it in today so we can get that, Take a listen. Tell me what you guys think. One's in the chat. It's a banger. It's a banger. Australia in the building. Where you from? Where you from? What city? What state? What country?
You lie, you boast, always gotta do the most behind my back.
Tell me what you
When you're faced with all the facts,
I love it.
You switch right up, you don't remember all of that. Showing off like you're in a pageant, bragging on about your status. Little do they know there's a real dark method to your madness. All the hate you brew inside, tragic. From a monster to the victim, play the role so well, dramatic. Is that it? Moving on, now it's time for me to work, wave my magic wand. You're no match for me or the power of my tongue. Let me show you how it's done. I can too terrorize you for fun. Demon be gone. You're a narcissist, can't hide it when it shows. Tied down by your traumas and now they won't let you go. You're a narcissist, a reaction is your aim. I'll just give you nothing, watch you lose at your own game. You're a narcissist, it's always your way, it's your lane. Doesn't matter what I try to say, declined. You want what's mine, try to bring me down, try to take me out, but you can't steal my shine. You always wanna start a fight, no rules, never can you lose, no clue to why you always gotta be right. Tell me why you're so uptight, if it's all for show. Gotta let shit flow, gotta let shit go. Can't dwell on it your whole life. Get back, I don't want your static. Nothing but a drama addict. Those repeated cycles. I have studied all your habits, but the way you stare at me, you savage. Try to pawn your pain on me, return to sender with that package and trash it. Moving on, now it's time for me to work, wave my magic wand. No more dragging me through the dirt, teach you right from wrong, run you like a marathon. Once that truth turns to karma, you're done. Demon be gone. You're a narcissist, can't hide it when it shows. Tied down by your traumas and now they won't let you go. You're a narcissist, a reaction is your aim. I'll just give it nothing, watch you lose at your own game. You're a narcissist, it's always your way, it's your lane. Doesn't matter what I try to say, defined. You want what's mine, try to bring me down, try to take me out, but you can't steal my shine. Try to take my soul, try to switch them roles, that destiny swapping, mocking, blocking shit. It's a no-go, all that ego doesn't fit. Only care for the glam, only care for the glitz. Way too grubby, but you wanna give gifts. Indian giver on a power trip, acting like you rich. All the money in the world wouldn't change your attitude. Love bomb if you want, won't change my point of view on you as you laugh and you flaunt. Take your exit too. You're no match for the highest with authority over you. True. Now back to the money. Say you built the hive, forcing me the honey. Don't wanna be exposed, so you're acting all chummy. No one is around, now you wanna act funny. Bummy, pick a personality, many burn bridges. Friendship fatality, you see it one way. I see duality like calories, burn away them dark principalities. You're a narcissist, can't hide it when it shows. Tied down by your traumas and now they won't let you go. You're a narcissist, a reaction is your aim. I'll just give you nothing, watch you lose at your own game. You're a narcissist, it's always your way, it's your lane.
I like this. I like this bump right here.
You want what's mine, try to bring me down, try to take me out, but you can't steal my shine. You're a narcissist, can't hide it when it shows. Tied down
You could put
by
this
your
on loop
traumas
right
and
here.
now they won't let
You could put this on this that one right here.
Reaction is your aim. I'll just give you nothing, 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 nothing. You're a narcissist, it's always your way, it's your
Get a video out to this one. I mean, we gotta get a video out. I want like
try to bring me
great
down, try to take me out, but you can't steal my shine. You're a
You know what I mean?
narcissist.
You might as well like throw the domestic. You know what I mean? Like throw the domestic, like the crash out in the kitchen, the thing, table, just put that. You know what I mean? Like that look. Like no matter what you try to do, and satisfied. You know what I mean?
You like
Ready,
to talk a
beer
lot
on
of
the table.
smack. You spy
Let's go
and lie,
flip
you
out,
boast,
you know
always
what I
gotta
mean?
do the most behind my
Go ahead, put
back.
that in the. Put all of that in
Faced
the
with all
video.
the facts,
get
You
on
switch
there
right
like
up, you don't
it's
remember
a
all of
dramatized moment, you know,
that.
so
Showing off like
yelling,
you're in the
someone running up
pageant,
the
bragging
steps.
on about your status. Little
I
do
think
they
that
know
would
there's a
look
real dark method
I
to
think
your
that would look
madness.
very
All the hate you brew
powerful
inside, tragic. From a monster to the
as
victim,
far
played
as
the
this
role so
song
well,
goes.
dramatic. Is that it? Moving on. Now it's time for me to work. Wave
I
my
don't know.
magic
Can you
wand.
put it in
You're
the
no match for me
like
or the power of
trailer
my
fight
tongue.
or
Let me
you know
show
the
you
break
how
the
it's
trailer
done.
break
I
and
can
see a
too
video of
terrorize you for fun.
pretty sure that
Demon be
it was
gone.
him, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure
You're
to
a
give us type it
narcissist.
in
Can't
the
hide it
detail
when it
of it.
shows. Tied down by your traumas, and now they won't let you go. You're a
All right,
narcissist.
let's get
A
into
reaction.
today's lesson. I'm sorry. I got caught up in that song. Got caught up in that song. And we are still taking in, funds for the farm and everything that we got going on, despite everything that's going on with YouTube and the hold up. You guys still know how you can support. You guys still know how you can, move forward and invest however you work it. If you do have it, much is appreciated. Um, Today, we are looking for a substantial amount, but that's neither here nor there. We're going to talk about time vector codes in the DNA. So, we're going to break down a lot of the chakra systems. Your hands and feet are actually, chakra points, thumbs, pinky. All of these things have importance when it comes to the chakras. That's why you actually put the ring on your ring finger, right? Because your ring finger is actually your root chakra. So when you put the ring on the ring finger, that's where you're you know what I mean, you're grounding yourself to the root chakra, right? So the pinky finger is, wisdom, is wise. Usually when you see people with a pinky ring, that's usually what it's a reference to, but they changed it now to where as though we think it's like a pimp, the pinky is a pimp finger or whatever. um so, however you look at this, a lot of knowledge is coming out, a lot of info is coming out. And this is, regarding your Kundalini energy, your masculine and feminine energy that moves through your vessel, so on and so forth. And, your foot chakra, you have to remember your big toe is your solar plex, and your index is your heart, and your middle toe is your throat chakra, your fourth toe is your third eye. uh and when you have a notion of this, it's not saying like, oh, let me go figure this out. No, it's a knowledge thing, right? To put this in your mind, to understand how this works, how this, you know how we're connected to the chakra systems with a grand understanding of it. So when you have this, you have vector codes. These vector codes are in your DNA. These are codes that wake up your fire codes, right? Your fire letter, or fire codes are built into electromagnetic impulses of sound, arranged in pattern sequencing, right? So when it comes to, vector codes and fire codes, it is sound vibration that awakens these codes, these different codes that are in your DNA. So when you are talking about a 12 DNA strand matrix, you're talking about the ability to use all 12 strands. It is considered to be a double diamond light that comes in from the sun, allegedly, supposedly. So it's like a white light that comes in from the sun. And really, this is based off of your perception, because if you actually look at the sun, sometimes when you look at the sun with your eyes closed, you can see the changes of the colors that are radiating from the sun. You can see that gold is actually a mixture of all the colors that are in the rainbow. If you allow yourself to look at the sun, you could close your eyes, the sun will turn red. If you are in your heart chakra, you might see a green color coming from the sun, maybe a greenish blue, right? So you can do this analytics yourself, just based off of your own perception of reality. So we have to realize that the aura rays are plasma waves patterns built up in the layers. These are built up in the colors, these plasma waves, right? So we have plasma waves that are coming in and moving through. And these are like, once you know this, like, you'll remember like root race. You have root race energy inside of you. So these root races are waking up. They're you know um coming to a recognition, if you would say. So you have these different rays inside, and this is the double diamond sun plate. When you get into this, you know, mixture of understanding, right? And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people might perceive this to be something different, you know what I mean? But this is, the will. So once you have all of these moving, you have the 12 strands of the feminine and the 12 strands of the masculine, and they both are aligned, equally yoked. Then it becomes the double diamond sun DNA 24 strand, right? And this is a merger of energies inside of oneself, right? Understanding this is the 12 within the 12 you see, the 12 you don't see, and a grander understanding of everything that is, was, and always will be. So, yes, as of right now, we don't have a how you say, like, we don't have, all the knowledge that is provided when it comes to this information, right? That's the baby cat right there. We don't have all the knowledge provided when it comes to this stuff right here, but we are, in the notion of breaking it down, in a grander understanding of breaking it down, right? Mathematical expansion is equated within this, right? So when you have this level of information, biologically and mathematically, things are going to change, right? Things are going to change in all different directions in a sense of like understanding the system, right? So mathematic expansion for sustainability, right? 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Now, this number is not a reference to, you know, think about the 369 method. This is an understanding of an approach to the one that becomes two, the two that becomes four, the four that becomes eight, the eight that becomes 16, the 16 that becomes 32, the 32 that becomes 64, so on and so forth, right? Now, when you get into the vector codes, you can say that the solar flares are affecting your vehicle. It is affecting your ascension vehicle. It is affecting the, frequency of your life water that is reshaping or changing your DNA. You know what I mean? So it says plasma waves are also related, and the transmitters made through the Aura uh, Guardian, the GSF Ascension timeline. Now, we might not understand what a timeline is when it comes to these time vector codes, whatever, it could be codes that are in our DNA that is scheduled to wake up at different points in our timeline, right? So, we can say, like, okay, at the age of 13, something awoke inside of us, right? And then at another age, something else might awoke inside of us, right? So we can say that some sort of codes are awakening in our DNA based off of the timeline or trials and tribulations that we go through down here, right? We can call it evolution, we can call it growth, but whatever it is, it changes or reshapes your DNA, which changes your approach to life, right? We can say that. We can say that's happening, or some fashion of it is happening, right? Um, So you might not understand like what is plasma. You might not have an understanding for plasma. What is plasma? So let's take a listen so we can before we get into this. Okay. Before we get into this, let's take a listen at what is plasma. A lot of you might not know what plasma is, so you might have to have an understanding for it first before we can get into it. So let's read this.
The solar system and the bulk of the universe, making up the stars and our sun and the vast interstellar spaces in between, are in the form of plasma. Plasma is a very hot gas in which the electrons have been stripped from atoms. For plasma to exist, ionization is necessary. Ionization is the process by which an atom or a molecule acquires a negative or positive charge by gaining or losing electrons. So one way to prevent ionization of the upper atmosphere, to prevent the generation of plasma waves, is to spray chemtrails or aim ELF microwave frequency, HARP or GWEN, into the upper atmosphere and into the Earth crust. This is one NAA agenda to keep the potential frequency as low as possible in this density. Plasma waves can generate waves at frequencies that are extremely high compared to the highest characteristic frequency of other forms of matter. The Earth's plasma fountain gushes into space from regions near the Earth's poles. The aurora borealis, which is part of the consciousness units being re-encrypted by the physical matter state changes in so that liquid plasma light is able to be conducted. As we are gradually able to conduct plasma light, we are capable to change the atomic structure of our body from carbon-based to the less dense compound of silicate.
This is why I say, like, we have to, pay attention to the connection, because if you just now heard the reading of plasma, the understanding of it, and it's telling you that the aurora borealis is connected to consciousness, right? Then that means that last year in 2024, when we all seen this change in the borealis, that something happened to the consciousness, right, of the whole collective, right? So we can see the plasma field and the effects that is taking place. So if we know that the borealis is connected to your conscious, then clearly the universe is connected to your conscious. Clearly, we have a greater connection with, the universe and what is astrology, so on and so forth. So we have to take a journey to that knowledge. We have to, get to that knowledge, right? A shift has taken place. All the signs are here. Everything is showing us that something is different. Your mind is changing. The way you think is changing. The way you're approaching things is changing. Your sleeping is changing. Your eating habits is changing, right? Even the people around you are, acting different, or, maybe it seems like they're acting different or something, right? So when you realize how connected we are to energy, frequency, how connected we are to light, how connected we are to this universe, then you can get into an understanding of the vector codes that are awakening inside of our DNA. If our Kundalini energy was punished at one point, um, now we can say our Kundalini energy is off of punishment. So the serpent no longer coils at the base of your spine. It actually moves up and down your spine now. So we have this ability to foresee things that are not seen. We have this ability to know things that are not known. We are, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. We are everything and nothing at the same time. Everything is moving at once. So when you think about the galactic wars, when you think about, Gaia, when you think about Hercules or Zeus or anything like that, think about all of that happening at the same exact time. Let's say Hercules is in the middle of, battling to get to Mount Olympus. Let's say Zeus and Kronos and all of them are still in battle right now. Let's say Roman mythology, Mars wars, and the Sumerian gods are still going through a fight at this same moment. Everything is in a time loop that continues over and over and over and over and over and over, and it's laid on top of each other. Almost kind of like how they make, track records back then, how they make, recordings, vinyl records, vinyl recordings, right? Based off of what you put that pin on, that's the reality that we're going to exhibit, right? So right now, our record is spinning on this particular reality, right? This is why it's easy to blend. This is why the Mandela effect is so pivoted in this world, is because it's based off the minds of the collective. If you remember the Berenstein's bear, with an E on it, or however it was spelled, right, then collectively we can say that it has changed, right? So this is how you reshape history. All you have to do is get enough people to believe in a particular history, thus far reshaping the history as we know it, right? And this has been done numerous times, right? But before we go into all of that, leading scientist study has shown that at some point we had abilities that are greater than what we are demonstrating now, right? So we can say at some point we went through a de-evolution process, right? We can say some type of de-evolution took place, to where as though we are now, at the point where we are now. And if you get into DNA, it'll tell you that, somehow, some way, we are not using all of our strands of DNA, all of our chromosomes. It will tell you that at this particular time, this particular point in time, we are not using all of our chromosomes. So we have to find a way to get back the use of these chromosomes, or start using them, reuse them, something. But things are changing inside of us that's reminding us of this. Things inside of us that's reminding of us this.
On the Earth, human chromosomes have been tampered with as a result of alien hybridization and genetic modification, and thus, humanity is missing a large amount of chromosomal material at multiple layers of the DNA molecule or strings. We should have 12 chromosomes per DNA strand, and the original human 12-strand DNA silicate matrix has a total of 104.
This is our fall. This is our great fall.
(144 chromosomes. Currently, with an average of 3 active.
Why is it stopping? I gotta get my PC cleaned out. With the
DNA
average
strands for the majority of the Earth population, humans should actually have 36 functioning chromosomes, yet we only have 23 that are active.
See, I want you to think about that. Even with the 3 strands, with the 3 DNA strands that's active, right? Because it says that we only really have 3 DNA strands that's active right now, right? With the 3 DNA strands that's active, we supposed to have 36 functioning chromosomes. We only have 23, right? But they use movies like Doom, right? If you remember the movie Doom, even if you go back and watch the one with The Rock in it, right? It's like they went through a portal and they ended up on another planet, which usually is always like depicted as Mars or something, right? And it says that these beings was there and they were using more of their chromosomes. And they showed the hands of these beings and showed them with like 6 fingers and stuff like that, right? And like they were trying to say, like, some of them some of them got enhanced and they became more animalistic, and other ones got enhanced and they was able to control this animal instance, and therefore they became faster, stronger, but they was mentally strong enough to control whatever it is that mutated the other species, right? Now that's ironic, because as you sit and listen to the information that's coming out, it's like they are telling us, like, hey, the sun is affecting our DNA, which is causing an awakening in the strands of our DNA. So if we only using 3 of the 12, and out of the 3 we're only firing on 23 chromosomes, right? Then we're not even firing on all the cylinders within the 3 DNA strands that we are functioning in, right? And imagine if the remaining strands of the vessel awakening, right? Can you imagine actually firing on 144 chromosomes? Can you imagine actually, you don't know what you'll be capable of firing on 144 chromosomes because you forgot the knowledge. You forgot the what was lost down here, what was given to us. They put it in all the movies, right? Even Thanos had to bring his ass here, you know. All of the movies tell you, from Marvel to DC to whatever you watch, to the history, they tell you that it's something special here. There's something put in the hearts of mankind, right? There's a key here, a key to the universe here within inside of us. There's a key to the universe. But the only way we can get to the key to the universe is unity, right? And someone is stopping us from getting to that key. Someone is stopping us from uniting, so we won't be able to get to the key to the universe. But it has to start with love and unity. It can't be that you're not going to find the key off of division. You're not going to find the key off of eliminating. You're not going to find the key off of separating. One must be willing, right? We all must be willing to accept one another. We all must be willing to accept that we exist. We all must be willing to accept that we're in it together. We all must be willing to accept that we're here together. It's not saying that we have to have the same opinions. It's not even saying that we have to have the same approach, but we still have to be willing to say that we're in it together, you know? So, y'all, we're going to do our due diligence to put together a unity like no other. We're going to do our due diligence to bring knowledge and wisdom back into this plane. I ask that you guys help whatever way you can. We have some idea numbers that we're trying to reach today, but I don't want to put that burden on you guys. Anything is appreciated, anything is needed, anything is going to the greater good. So whatever you can do, do it. Replay game. I know you guys are listening. I know you guys are going to replay this. The reason why I haven't been on is because, with great things come great responsibilities, and a shift has taken place. So a lot of people are getting recognized for the leader roles that they're supposed to play in this new verse. And then a lot of people are also, trying to tear it down. Like, our page wouldn't be nowhere near the predicament that it was in if people didn't keep on speaking, negative about us, trying to make us defend this or defend that, right? The same people that speak negative about us, they never speak on how much knowledge we put out over here. They never speak about, the safety that we give people over here. They never speak about that. They say all of this negative stuff, try to tear, make it seem like we're just the ones that's, saying stuff to them and so on and so forth. And they never spoke to us, never said anything to us, never been in our Discord, never talked to us at all, right? This is the stuff that they say. This is the stuff that they say. I don't know why this person is mentioning me, you know? I never spoke to this person, right? But you guys know that we always come with receipts. We're not the type to hide or shy away from truth. So when you hear these people say this stuff, right? I want you to understand that it's a reason why they're saying it. It's a reason why they're saying certain things. It's most likely because they have been, in the Discord, or they have sent me messages previously or something like that. 9 times out of 10, these people are saying this because they have tried some type of, weird reach out, you know. So they say this because they know the level of interference that they played. They know what they did. They know the manipulation. They know, that they sent the message or whatever the case may be. They know what type of games they playing. Yeah, you don't know what type of games they playing, but they are aware of the bull crap that they're doing, right? And they do it intentionally because 9 times out of 10, they got somebody on standby. And that person that's on standby is waiting to, say that you said their name so they can run tell that. They're waiting to say that you responded to them so they can go be like, he said your name. I don't know why he mentioning us. Blah, 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 blah. These people are fraudulent. Okay. And it's not even a matter of like the people. They can exist. Hey man, they got every right to exist. But the lies gotta stop. You know? Can't keep on trying to speak negative about people that's actually doing good things in this world. Like y'all keep on trying to tear down the people that want change because y'all accept the reality and the way things are because y'all are benefiting from the mayhem. Y'all benefiting from the chaos. Y'all benefiting from, the laziness and all the things that's happening. Y'all benefiting from that. You know what I mean? So this is what's happening. This is what you're getting out of that. The reality of it is simple. Some of the things that you see, you might not really understand it. You might, feel as though like, what is this about? You know? But reality is very simple. Reality does not have the same complications that you bring along with your feelings and emotions. You know, you guys add feelings and emotions to it and then complicate things, make things harder than what they need to be. Mankind does that. Mankind makes things harder than what they need to be. In reality, things are a little bit simpler. Things are a little less complicated. Why I say that? Because if everybody operated with good intention, if everybody operated with the, purest amount of energy to say that, I want what I want for you, what I want for myself, therefore I'm going to, speak that into existence, you know what I mean? Speak just that into existence, then it's different. Mm. Half of these messages I don't even be getting on Instagram. I don't be paying attention to none of that stuff. You know why? Could it be hackers? I was just checking something real quick. I was going to see if somebody um things are not always easy, but yes. A lot of times change don't come easy. And a lot of times, people manipulate the change that's coming. Like a lot of people know that, there's a new wave of energy. A lot of people know that something is taking place. But what you don't know is your body is just a vehicle for the energies that exist inside of it, you know? And if there's a fight going on inside of you, right? And there's energies that are fighting inside of you, a lot of you guys are losing to these energies that are inside of you. Whether you want to think that you're in control of yourself or not, you're not. You can't be. Let me ask you this. So you telling me that there's more people in the world that want to operate in confusion. You're telling me that there's more people in the world that want to go out and put the world in chaos. You're telling me that there's more people in the world that are doing this on purpose. You're telling me that they're doing this on purpose. I would much rather believe that there's something inside of you that that's causing you to do this and you are completely unaware of it. I rather believe that we're like that frog that has that parasite inside that tells that frog to climb to the top of the tree, even though we know that the dangers are lurking at the top of the trees. I will most likely believe that than believe that people are going out here and purposely harming people, purposely putting people in low vibrations. There's a lot of situations that's going on right now in our reality, and it's eye opening, right? There's a lot of narcissistic energies that's being pointed out, a lot of sociopathic energies that's being pointed out. Yet it seems like the only people that are losing in this is the humble people, is the meek, right? We do our damnedest to be at peace. We do our damnedest to try to come to a singular level of understanding that says, you know, we're in it together. Let's just do what's right no matter what. You know, I'm not in control of nobody else, but I'm in control of myself. And myself is saying, just do what's right, you know? And what they say is like, do when in Rome, do as the Romans, right? And sometimes it gets very difficult staying in a positive state of being, a positive state of mind, especially when you have people around you that challenge your positivity, right? And the reason why they challenge your positivity is because they don't want to acknowledge their negativity, right? So instead of acknowledging their level of negativity, they would rather challenge your positivity, you know? But this is why I tell people I'm working on me every day. I'm working on being a better version of myself every day. And every day I sit and I contemplate with my own feelings and emotions on what's right and what's not right. And I hope that I choose the right decision. But sometimes my feelings and emotions get the best of me. Sometimes I do feel like cursing somebody out. Sometimes I do get tired of repeating myself. Sometimes I do get tired of, when you say you're dealing with somebody and that person is saying that they're trying to learn you and understand you, and you're giving that person all of the understanding that you can possibly give them, and they're still choosing, not to. It's like teaching somebody or telling somebody how you want to be loved, and they still loving you how they want to love you, right? But they're telling you how they want to be loved, and they expect you to act according to how they want to be loved. But when you're explaining to them how you want to be loved, they can't change the way that they love in order to fit your idea of love. But you have to change everything in order to fit their idea of love. You know, sometimes that becomes complicated. Sometimes that becomes frustrating, you know, and a lot of people approach it like this. A lot of people have an idea of what they expect out of you, what they want out of you, but they're not telling you up front. They're not being honest with you and telling you like that's what they want, that's what they expect. A lot of people, throw money at situations and think that money solved it. Financially, we already know that bills need to be paid. We know that we got to pay for this and that, and we got to buy this and that, and we got to, so we already know that that's something that has to be taken care of, right? We already know that. That's hands down given, right? Um, but my thing is, are we really, really in the mindset of how things work? Because we're not. We're not. We're not doing nowhere near the greater things that we can do. You know what I mean? We're not doing it. And the reason why we're not doing it is because of calculations. Our calculation is off. We think that we as individuals have to do a lot, but you don't. As an individual, you just get a bunch of individuals that want to work together. want to pour into the same pot, want to build into the same house, the same lot, the same piece of land, the same, like you have to build these groups. They exist. They're out here. You just don't know them. They're broken up in carnal minded groups. It's like a group of lustful people, a group of money hungry people. Like you see them on the internet more than anything. You see them. They're like, man, listen, I'll pour this bucket of ooze and ooze on my head right now if you just send me some money, send me some money, right? And it's for the people that's out here that's really trying to bring change, trying to build the homesteads, trying to unify, trying to get the right people to help, trying to get the right people to invest. Like it's harder for us because we know that we need, the collective. We know that we need, people, right? If you get 20 people to give $10, that goes a long way. If you get, 50 people, to give however amount that they can give, right? It goes a long way, right? What you can do. You can move things, right? But you got to have the collective to do it. That's why any any public relations team, when they go out and they scout people, they're scouting you for how many people can you bring in? How many people can you change, right? So when they're looking at you, they're looking at how many people you reach, how many people you touch, how many people, so they're looking at the numbers. If we're not doing everything in our power to bring numbers to the page, if we're not there's so many things you can do to show support of a change of this magnitude. There's so many things you could do, right? You got some people that's going to help financially, some people that's going to help, pass, spread the word. Some people are going to like the page. Some people are going to share the page. Some people are going to become mods because they believe in you. All you got to have is the people down here that believe in you, believe in what you're doing, believe in your cause, right? I'm looking for those people, the people that believe, that want to believe in something greater than themselves, that want to believe that change is not only going to come, but change is happening. I want the people that want to be a part of that change. That's who I want. That's who I want. I want the people that want to be a part of the change. And we're going to do great things with it. I'm sorry if knowledge is not entertaining enough to where it's up, but we are entertaining over here with it. We drop enough jewels, do enough laughing. We got enough songs, so we can do this. We can create a page or pages that has enough people to where as though we can do this,
You got a big mouth, running around with attitude, windmilling, being rude, acting so tough, but you don't got stuff to back it up. You want it your way or no way. You talk too much to say. You better get right or get gone. You got about a minute, tic-tac to pack it up. You got an ass backwards way of thinking, and you lie in our face, no blinking. So now that your ship is sinking, it's time to know. Yes, I want to know. Oh, who do you think you are? I wanna know. Who do you think you are? 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 I wanna know. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? You in the big league, big game, grifting hard to get fame. Narcissistic self-belief, lying through your teeth, no form of measure, all blame. You point your finger, false claim, slander everybody's name. Take yourself for a walk, cause you don't walk your dog, and it's a damn shame. You got an ass backwards way of thinking, and you lie in our face, no blinking. You're so full of shit, it's stinking. It's time to know, yes, I wanna know. Oh, who do you think you are? I wanna know. along. Tiny hands, bobblehead, you all wrong. Sick of hearing your off-key stupid song. We got the sun, I take your Wayne and move along. Just a virtual beggar, you too bold. You can't see that your act's already old. Just mad that you'll never be golden, and all of your content is stolen. Without Jag, you really dried up. No Jag, so alcohol fills your cup. No Jag, now the grift so lonely. Cause Jag was your one and your only. Now you know that it's up and stuck. Getting hit was your karmic luck. You swigging on JD while I'm live and bitching. A dirty bird in a dirty kitchen. Who do you think you are? I wanna know. Who do you think you are? Do you think you are?
You know, we pack them up quick. We pack them up quick. You think twice about making fun of Sandra Love. We ain't playing about our collective. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. You coming like that. But yeah, there's so much happening right now, you know, in this verse. There's so many verses, but there's so much happening in all the verses. So in all the verses, there's things happening at the same time. So right now, like, you're going to see a high level of activity in the sky coming up this summer. Right here, there's going to be a high level of activity. You're going to see some lights and stuff that are going to be moving around the sky. You know, they're going to keep you distracted because they don't want you to pay attention to the shift that's taking place, the change that's taking place, right? We have a close relationship to the universe, and the universe is sending certain variations of knowledge down here, certain variations of, you know, truths down here. Anyone who is getting in the way of those who are assigned to a mission of the universe, you're getting karma. You're getting karma. It's not me. It's not me. It's not the crystals. It's not the people in my group. It is the universe, right? The universe put certain people down here on a mission. Certain people are meant to find people. Certain people are meant to lead people. You can't do nothing once someone finds out their spiritual path, once someone finds out their universal journey. You can't do nothing to that person. That person can only derail theirself. That person can only get in their own way. That person can only stop theirself. Yes, you could do everything that you want to do to that person, whatever the case, but that karma is going to come back to you. If that person is operating with pure intent, if that person is operating properly, you're going to get hit with that. And they're mad because they're getting hit with the karma for going against those of a light, those that are on a true spiritual path. I'm not talking about the ones that are faking. I'm not talking about the identity thieves. I'm not talking about the knots, you know. I'm not talking about those who you know, at one point they were faking like they were chosen. They were faking like they were sitting outside theyself, beside theyself, watching theyself, right? They were doing all of this stuff. Even Jaguar, go back. That's why they took the spiritual stuff off of there. When I started pointing out the false spirits, that's when they took it off of there. Remember, Jaguar Wright had a whole, you know, off-world DNA test done by Beverly Rose, right? Big homie CC had an off-world DNA test done by Beverly Rose. Think about that. How did you get an off-world DNA test done by people that wasn't here in the beginning? Make that make sense. That you had somebody tell you your history, that whose soul spirit was not here in the beginning for that. Come on. What is that cat doing?
Trying to get in a clear box that she can just jump in. What are you doing? What are you doing?
So no, I don't subscribe to the bull crap. These people are false. These people are painting false lights out there. The reason why they picked the people that they picked to fake these images of what is righteous, of what a true spirit is because the devil's been sinning all his life. So the devil is going to find sinners to paint them out to be saints, right? So you have all these people that are faking like they're saints. You have all these narcissistic people faking like they're saints, faking like they're spiritual. Look at, Grace. Grace done told you that she contacts spirits, so on and so forth, but she out here hitting people with axes, right? Jaguar fake like she doing this, doing that, but she out here smoking her son's ashes, right? They're not telling you that he the chosen one, but look at the things that he out here doing. He telling people that he gonna fornicate with people in the Hollywood just to stop other people from getting to Hollywood, right? Y'all got to take the proper discernment and give back to the right people so we can put the right stuff out there. Y'all got to want to give back and grow into this knowledge, wisdom, right? Y'all got to want this. Yes, we can change a bunch of them. Yes, we can do great things, but they have to see an example of being poured into. They don't want to show the example of people pouring into positivity. They don't want people to know that people are pouring into love and light, right? So they are going to do everything in their power to try to make it look like people are not pouring into this, right? They're going to try to say, oh, don't send nothing to him. Don't do nothing for him. He's this, he's that, he's this. They said the same thing about Christ. They said the same thing about Christ. And with the Christ, he kept doing good works, kept doing good works. So I can't allow my actions, my good deeds to be tainted because someone else decides I shouldn't be the one doing the good deeds. I can't stop my level of activity on this farm because someone else decide that I shouldn't, fix up a farm, that I shouldn't help out on a farm, that I shouldn't. I never let no one stop me from doing anything that the universe decided to me to do. And I don't take my angers out on other people. Like you got people that buy animals and come in and kick the dog because they mad at work. You got people out here that's taking their feelings and emotions out on other people because they mad at somebody else. Somebody's got to get it. Look at Maggie. She took all her anger out on all of us because somebody struck her page, right? None of us was even in that back and forth bullshit with her, but we all got the whipping stick. In the medieval days, that was called a whooping boy. The princesses and the princes, they had whipping boys. Whenever they would get in trouble, the whipping boy would take the whooping for it. Whenever the prince or the princess would get in trouble, and that's what she used us as a prime example of let them eat cake. That's what she showed us. A prime example of let them eat cake, right? Has no remorse about what she did. Don't care that she sent this whole owl collective against people's pages, right? And deny the fact that they're doing it by trying to make it seem like, oh, I didn't tell them to do it. They did it on their own because they don't like the way that you're treating me. So basically, based off of kissing your ass, your collective is going to speak on us. If we don't do what you want us to do, pop up on your page, come and make you famous, then your collective of owls is going to attack us. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. You're a terrorist. Yeah, you're operating like one. You're a YouTube terrorist. And that's okay. And that's okay because, hopefully everything will, well, not even hopefully. Right now, you see everything happening according to how it's going to happen. We ain't even mad that our page got hit. You know what I mean? We're not even mad that our page got hit. Fuck it. We got demonetized. There's other ways that you can show support. Hey, go to that green app. Everybody take a trip to the green app, and tap into that one time. Let's see what we could do. You know what I mean? I bet you our numbers be greater. Shit. Tap into the green app. I get that expeditiously. I can use that today. You know what I mean? I can go out and buy animal stuff today. You know what I mean? So hit that green app up. Don't let them stop the show. Let's find a different way around it. Sandra, always appreciate you. Always appreciate you. I be seeing it. I be seeing the little, doing what you can. I appreciate you. But for everybody else, just do what you can. The universe will help us with the rest. I promise you it will. The universe has never failed me in all of these activities and all of these things that we're doing. The universe has never failed me. And that's why, I lean on the universe so tough. That's why I lean on the universe so tough, because the universe don't fail me. Just when I think I'm out, when I'm thinking about giving up, the universe, puts me on his back and say, I got it from here. And it helps me see another day, a better light. It helps me see that thin lining, so that's what I be paying attention to. I'll be searching for that silver lining.
As the unwinding of anti-life reversal currents transpires in the planetary Albion light, through this massive aqua emerald transmission sourcing from the cosmic womb of the Holy Divine Mother, she transmits the perfect proton and neutron consciousness units, which carries the God seed of the Diamond Sun DNA template for her organic divine children seeded throughout the creation. The natural offspring and those refugee races who agree to regenerate their species' DNA for organic ascension will receive the potentials of the Maharata blueprint of her sacred sound aqua plasmas in their activated 8D axiotonal line, thymus gland, permanent seed of the higher heart, and activate dormant hara centers.
And this is one of the reasons why I'm grateful, because I know that everyone is not hearing the same vibrational sounds that I'm hearing, right? I know that everyone's life water is not responding to the same light that my life water is responding to. I know that the universe is sending out a greater message, right? And I'm just happy that I can hear it. Like, I'm grateful that I can hear this greater message that the universe is sending out. Now, it would be so wonderful if more people would climb aboard. It would be so wonderful if more people wanted to be a part of it. But I can't change what it is that you believe in. I can't. All I can do is keep on getting online, due to the fact that this is the fastest way to connect without even leaving my house, right? I can connect to millions of people right here online, right? I'm going to keep getting online, speaking words of higher vibrational frequency to change this plane, right? And I can't say who else is doing it. I can't say. I know I run across a lot of pages on TikTok where people are actually, having these conversations, having these discussions, inviting, people in as far as unifying goes. But this is where it starts. This is where it starts, right? Don't let the beginning be the end. That's all I'm saying. Don't let the beginning be the end. You guys see, great things start at these levels right here. Great things start at these levels. You feel it. You feel what energy I bring to the platform. You feel what we do collectively, right? Individually, I have a certain magnitude of energy, and collectively, we have a greater amount of energy, right? But if we start changing the operation of currency, because our currency is changing whether you want it to or not, right? I'm trying to get the first place off the ground. so I can go other places and do the same thing, right? And I can really use your guys' support, you know, as far as whatever it is that you can do. You might know people with some farm equipment. You might be able to, ship or mail or get some stuff out here to me. I'm not sure, however, you can support. You know what I mean? If it's financially, then do that. Great. Right. If it's, I can buy you some stuff, do that. Great. If I don't care if it's, hey, I got a credit card, I can order some stuff on Amazon, do that. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself in debt for this type of change because it's that great of a change. And I'm not saying that you're not going to get the money back, because you are. You know what I mean? Anyone who puts themselves in debt for this, I'm going to make sure that you get it back. So that way it's not a financial burden on you. And more so, right? My idea is to help people. That's my idea. My idea is not to, become, crazy rich off of this and get on the billboards or nothing. My idea is to be what it is that we all should be, which is fishers of men. If we all are in a pit, if we all are in hell, then I'm trying to get people out of this hell that we are in, right? And be a fisher of man, just like those before me was fishers of men, right? So I'm just doing what it is that I was originally made to do. The problem is, in this new day and age, they have made it so we need money in order to bring great change. We need, finances. Back then, we didn't need that. We just needed a powerful word to move people, right? To get people to follow you, right? All you needed is a powerful word back then, right? Now you need money to support the people that may follow you, to support the collective that you might build, whatever the case may be, So now, as a spiritual person, when I say, yo, can y'all help out with money? Y'all gonna say, oh, why don't you meditate and manifest it? Being sarcastic, right? Oh, why don't you ask your why do you think the universe keep pushing y'all into my life? Why do you think? Because when the universe send you a change, or a universe send you blessings, they send it through other people. I can't help it that you can't fight off the demons inside yourself to see why the universe keeps sending you to my page. I can't help it if the universe is telling you, this is what I want you to be a part of. This is why I keep sending you to this person's page. You keep wondering why I'm popping up on your timeline. You got ask the people on TikTok. Some of them blocked me and I still popped up on their timeline. Hey, man, I thought I had you blocked. Well, listen. If you thought you had me blocked and the universe still put you here, then God is trying to tell you something. God is trying to tell you something. Maybe God is trying to tell you something right now. Right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I just, all I do is go live. Half the time it's not an agenda. Half the time it's not like I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, I got to do this. I try to put a schedule together. It never really goes as planned, right? I try to put schedules together. It don't go as planned, right? So we're going to try this again. I'm going to try to put this schedule together so that way we can know what time I'm going to be live. I'm going to try to build these pages up again so that way we can get some subscriptions and people can try to, tap into the greater good of knowledge, understanding, hold on to something, unify in the level of love and unity. Y'all never heard me speak on no like, yo, you letting that YT man this or that white person that. You never heard me speak like that. You never heard me say like, oh, this is about my black people. I try to show my black people this and I try to show my black people love and y'all never heard me speak like that, right? Everything that I say is universal. Anybody can be a part of it. Anybody. It don't matter what nationality you is. Anybody can be a part of it, right? It's a universal tongue. It's to not separate from anybody. You don't hear me saying, I'm putting together all men, right? Or women messed up the world. Like, you don't hear me speaking like that. When someone says something that affects women, I feel a certain type of way because the feminine energy that's inside of me tells me, hey, those are triggering words. When someone says something that affects men, I feel a certain type of way because the masculine energy inside me says, hey, those are triggering words. The energies that are inside my vessel alerts me to the spell that is in the word. And 9 times out of 10, I avoid it, or the conversation goes wherever. Why? Because I think that in a grand scheme of things, I think a lot of stuff is happening right now. I think a lot of stuff is happening. I think a lot of energies are shifting right now. I think a lot of people are recognizing some greater things. I think we're putting ourselves in a higher level of vibrational frequency, whether people want to or not. This is coming back to this world. The universe is changing. It is inevitable. I'm trying to tell you, RC, I got a level of language that's inviting to anyone. You never heard me speak bad about the LGBTIQA. You never heard me, try to tell, different genders that they can't go by anything. I respect the thems, the theys, the hers, the he's, the all of the, I don't, what I'm saying, transgress against anyone who is, if you allowing everyone to operate according to their self, if you allowing everyone to, be their self according to how they're going to be, then I don't see no problem with anyone going on. Look, I might not, and I carry myself, but how you operate your vehicle, how you operate your vessel, that's on you, right? Your sense of morals, your level of dignity, your whatever, that's on you. I never expect anything from anybody, and never, take away anything. So I'm not expecting anyone to hold themselves to a certain, level of decorum or whatever it is. I'm expecting people to be them. If you're natural, you know, if your natural is, shitting on the middle of the floor, I'm not going to take away from you shitting on the middle of the floor. I don't have to be there for it, and I damn sure don't have to clean it up. So you shitting on the middle of the floor has nothing to do with me. So I don't care, because I never thought highly of you to say that you not a middle of the floor shitter. You know what I mean? So I am in the greatest level of everyone is going to act according to how they want to act, regardless of how I respond or how I act, right? Now, people try to get you to respond a certain way so they can judge you on your actions. I try to eliminate any type of response that will allow people to be the controller of me. You get what I'm saying? Because people will do things in your life because they want you to respond a certain type of way so they can judge your response to what they did. They're not going to look at what they did to cause the response. They're going to really look at the response, right? And the only way that they're actually going to look at what they did is if you don't give them the response that they want. If you don't give them the response that they want, then they have to reflect on what they did. See, when I was working at fast food restaurants, working at the drive-through window, it was a lot of people that came through with attitudes. They was on the speakerphone with attitudes, but when they got to the window, I didn't give them that same energy. So when they got to the window and I'm giving them their food and I'm still being nice, I'm like, anything else I can help you with, so on and so forth. Then they say, I'm sorry I talked to you back there. I'm having a rough day. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's okay. We all go through it. I'm glad you took it out and not somebody else that couldn't deal with it. So you have a great day. And oh my God, I'm the way you said that. Da, 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 da. Yes. And I did this repeatedly, no matter what was going on in my life, no matter what was happening. I did not transfer that energy to anyone else. I don't go around and try to put other people in fucked up energies because I'm in a fucked up energy, right? I mean, look at the knot. Look at the knot in New York in a fucked up energy, doing the whole nightclub thing, whatever the case may be. But he's, determined to, get back at everybody else. Oh, I got a collective that don't play about me. Da 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 da. You are miserable. You are miserable. You know what I mean? Look at Magic. You know what I mean? Making a whole new page just to do the same thing. You are miserable. You are miserable. You ain't bringing no new strats to the table. You ain't really trying to unify. You ain't really trying to have a conversation about peace. None of that. You are thriving on division, thriving on separation, thriving on keeping us, down. Make it make sense. Even if somebody went over there and said, look, can we just, be at peace with one another, so on and so forth. What's done is done. Nobody can change nothing that's done. But how do we have a clean slate? How do we start all over? She's not going to take no deal like that, because if we say, all right, let's have a clean slate, let's start all over, she has nothing to talk about after that. Even if everybody stop mentioning us, we won't stop mentioning you, she can't. Nobody in her collective can stop mentioning us or talking about us, because that's how they're building their page. I ran across somebody, I don't know why this person is saying my name and blah, 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 blah. This, that, and the third. And I'm like, what? What? They over there know dang on well they trying to grift numbers and so on and so forth. What's this for? I want to just. Oh yeah, I get a message. It's going to send me like a bunch of emails, like.
But it's got 1 minute samples of each song on this until it releases.
Oh, do it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Let me listen to it real quick. I know you sent it to me for something. You just take so long to get to the.
I wasn't sure if you wanted to wait until.
No, I want to see it. I want everybody to hear it real quick. Let me see if it loads up. So look, we putting out a new album today. It's got about 8 songs on there, so we putting this album out, like I say, we operate in real time. Like, we trying to give y'all as much, as possible, with as little as possible. Like, yeah, we might not be in the greatest level of finances, but we're getting there. This little hole with YouTube, it takes its toll, it gets to a point. But we still striving, we still pushing forward. You guys are still supporting greatly, Hey, everybody just hit the CA one time, hit the CA one time. Just, you know what I'm saying? Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you let me get that McDonald's money? I know y'all got some McDonald's funds. Y'all don't need the McDonald's. Come on. I mean, coffee on everybody. You know what I mean? Coffee on everybody. It'll go a long way. Come on. All right, let's see what this album doing. Sorry, let me see.
Made right, long as we can stay living collectively today.
What? I'm not asking for much, Golden. Come on, I ain't asking for much. Just have little $5 coffee on everybody, something like that. You know what I mean? I mean, somebody can bless me with the whole breakfast. I take the whole breakfast too. I probably won't eat it. Probably go to a bill or something like that. Huh?
Senior coffee discount.
Not the senior coffee discount. Can you guys hear the sound?
Will always be just love, always complete, always enough. Love is love.
Where the vampire come from? Look, how many counts does she got?
So
Where
cold
does
that
she come
chaos
from?
sits on
She
your
just
throne.
come in here
Looking
firing
at me for
insults.
how
Nobody even
long?
said nothing about her.
You're probably convinced that
So these are the songs that's on the album. This is a lot. This is samples. The album's not out yet. It's on the Spotify right now. So
when you got
you
good
see the
news,
cake,
they
you
went
see the
with
cover,
you. Got your
Atlas of
different
Love.
views, still in with you. They stay with you every day for you.
These are just 1 minute samples.
They slay for you. Oh, it's so nice to feel. Sometimes not our choosing. If we want more, we should explore. There will be no losing. Let love guide you. Let love be the light. Let love guide you. Let love be the light.
This a good 8 songs though. This a good 8 songs.
Love is love, always is, always was, will always be just love, always complete, always enough. Love is love, love is love, always is, always was, will always be just love, always complete, always enough. Love is love. Was your heart ever my home? So cold that chaos sits on your throne.
Lip sync to this song and send you the
Something that I know. If you knock, he's going to answer. If you ask, he's gonna show. Cause he's not just some creator. It's unconditional. He's alive.
Yeah, that's what we should do.
He's unconditional. He's alive.
Yeah, so everybody in the Discord.
We don't need a good.
Hold on.
TikTok to YouTube to Twitch to kick. Yeah, with it, we built it. You can't flip me, dip it. From TikTok to YouTube to Twitch to kick. Yeah, with it, we built it. You can't flip me, dip it. Algorithms don't move us. We move to rhythm of truth in us. Hating on love in your sleep. Time is up, now we numbers deep.
Whoa.
One love in multiple forms. Vibrating contrary to norms. Creating waves worldwide. Elevating frequency.
Videos to it.
Side tragic. From a monster to the victim, play the role so well, dramatic. Is that it? Moving on. Now it's time for me to work. Wave my magic wand. You're no match for me or the power of my tongue. Let me show you how it's done. I can too terrorize you for fun. Demon be gone. You're a narcissist. See? I love them all.
Now we might have to credit that well, they gifted it, so hopefully, you know. But yeah, anyone that's in the Discord and everybody, send your videos in Discord of you lip singing any of these songs, and we're gonna put you in videos. So just, you know, send a small, you know, clip of you lip singing in the songs, and we're going to definitely clip it up and put it in the video so everybody can be a part of it. And that way your video will be playing, and that way you know what I mean? Yeah. Lip sing, dance, twirl, insert, whatever you do, just send a small clip, you know, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever. Send it in the Discord. We going, you know, chop it up and make the videos. And yeah. Hey, appreciate the CA. Appreciate the CA. Yeah, fine. Yeah, I see you, Nick. Hear you. And everybody else. Follow up. Follow up, everybody. Go ahead. 5 and 10 go a long way. Oh, that's for smoke. Oh, they put 5 on it. Okay, I got 5 on it. Appreciate the follow over on TikTok. Hey, Lilith, appreciate the follow. Love is love. That's Vampire. You know Vampire got many accounts. You know, that's the not following, man. Remember, he said people don't play about me. So you know he got all his little lurkies, you know what I mean? They just doing what they do. They doing what they do. That's why we got mods in here to get them gone. You know what I mean? We got mods in here that'll get them gone. You know, we got, you know, mute, block, mute, block. You know what I mean? That's all. Catch they ass, mute, block, irrelevant type personas, you know. And that's what brings me to this next understanding. You guys have to, you know, remember that, you know, everything is, always was, and always will be. You know what I mean? This world is a repeated, you know, version of something that already was. This is why they don't like me, is because I don't give them the response that they want. You know, you see a lot of people on, you know, the in the black tea sector, you see what they're doing, right? As soon as somebody in the you know, come in the comment section, they exerting all their energy. Yo, who said that? What was on y'all said that? Da, 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 da. Rah, 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 rah. Blah, 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 blah. You better watch how you talk to me. You better watch this. Don't say that to me like that. Da, 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 da. Rah, 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 rah. But see, this is why I say the internet is undefeated. Because as long as you're not bothered by that, then you ain't got to worry about it. See, these people allow it to bother them, right? You know, there's a lot you can learn when you actually take the time to overlook it. They want the response. They want you to say something. They want you to read it out loud. It is easy to get a copy of that picture. Is it easy? Yes, it is. It is easy to get a copy of this. In fact, if I moved out the way right now and you held your screen and you click clear display, it'll take everything off the screen so you can get a picture of it. And then you could just take a screenshot of it. And then you can one up it by putting that screenshot in your Google search and asking your Google search to find that picture. Or you can just look it up. However you want. There's many different ways that you can get that. Excuse me for belching. Um, but yeah, let's listen to this. So the cosmic mother's womb, right? The cosmic mother's womb. This is where your RNA comes from, right? Yes, you have DNA, but you have RNA too, right? They took out the importance of this RNA. This is called the planting of the seed. This is during the time of conception, right? The seeds that are planted from your mother and the seeds that are planted from your father during the time of conception. Some of these seeds are linked to your neurological system that allows you to function in a higher part of the brain. And this is considered to be a breakdown of how to keep people in their reptilian brain as to being in the higher functioning part of the brain, right? And the higher functioning part of the brain requires different different variations of chemicals that actually move through the body. Did you know at one point we did not swallow our food? We just chewed all the nutrients and stuff out of it. Later on, they say, you know, the proper way to eat is, I think, 32 bites or 30. You better go to the bathroom. 32 chews, 32 bites or something. You're supposed to chew your food like 32 times or something like that. What's going on with you? The topic right now, it's mixed. It's a mixed topic right now. So we're talking about DNA, talking about, you know, how your 12 strands of DNA, you know, there's more function and you can use more of them, so on and so forth. And we're over on YouTube right now. So be sure to come over to YouTube on Ralph DaWise. That is Ralph DaWise. DaWise on YouTube. Feel free to come over there and participate in the convo. So yeah, however you're looking at this, you know, greater things are happening. We're moving to greater things, right? We're hoping, listen, I'm hoping you guys realize the importance of the shift that's taking place. If you don't believe me, go look up the Schumann resonator, right? There's certain black spots in the Schumann resonator that let you know we're in the time of reset, right? There's certain colors that never popped up on the Schumann resonator that's popping up now, right? Rainbow colors, right? That means there's not only a change that's taking place in the frequency, there's change that's taking place in the atmosphere around us, right? And come the end of July, now, don't quote me on this, but when you see this energy that's coming out of Atlantis, when they show you this water, when they show you the Atlantic Ocean and the red, the vibration that's coming from it, you're gonna know, right? Because see, they thought Lumeria was going to have this point coming from Hawaii, but that's not what's awakening right now. It's in the Atlantic Ocean, right? Poseidon is pushing out his first level of energy, which is his Atlas sun. Poseidon's first son is Atlas, his first set of twins. He had 5 sets of twins. If you go back into these stories, you'll realize what's happening and what's taking place. They're going to tell you the Sumerian gods is returned. That's what's taking place in the atmosphere, but they're not telling you what's taking place in the ocean because technically they don't know what's taking place in the ocean. So anybody can speculate what's taking place in the ocean because it's a speculated guess that something is changing in our oceans, right? I mean, they're going to depict it and say global warming or something of that magnitude, right? Right, right. So, however you're looking at this, change is taking place. Things are changing, right? And we have to, you know, realize that something is changing, understanding that something is changing, and then, you know, get in front of the wave. Right now, we all have a chance to get in front of the wave because we're watching the operation of currency change, you know, with this currency exchange, you know. What's going on with you?
Yo, what's going on with you?
What's up?
Religion, how are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
That's great. Religion is tied back to astrology. Whoa, whoa, you are just like bold.
Uh, are you familiar with the Dogon tribe of West Africa?
Yes, man. Dogon of Mali?
Yes, the Dogons believe that they was from a star cluster, a Dogon star cluster.
Yeah, Star Sirius.
Yes. Now, at the time that they put this knowledge out, there was no proof or no way of looking this up. But years later, we discovered that there was a Dogon constellation, or you know, a star constellation. Now, how would that group have known such constellation exists to say that they were from that particular cluster?
Right.
How would they, you know what I mean?
Pardon?
I said, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. I mean, well, I have a theory. I mean, I just think that it's very interesting that a people who are so deep seated, like spiritual, if you know what I mean, who are so deep seated inward. Like, you know how when you like the more you could like macrocosm and microcosm, like the depth. This is something I've always said. Nobody's ever got it, or maybe I haven't been around the right circle of people, but people who all they do is deal with their internal nature in relation to creation, and dealing with the internal aspects of themselves, that's the depth. I think that the depth of the spirit and the consciousness mirrors the breadth of the vision. So, like them looking out, I mean, they could see things that the ordinary eye couldn't see. They didn't even have telescopes. These guys didn't have telescopes. Where do you think they got this knowledge from? It's ancestral, passed down. What do you think?
Partly ancestral, passed down, right? But also because they had a connection consciously
Yeah.
to these energies of the universe, right?
Yeah.
Somehow we lost that conscious connection. Well, whereas though previous the people in the past had a notion of that conscious connection. Now we can say one of two things. We can say because the population was smaller, they had a higher level of connection with consciousness. But due to overpopulation, the consciousness is spread out so thin amongst us that we don't have that, one particular persona doesn't have that strong connection with consciousness. But collectively, we have that strong connection with consciousness. But individually, we don't have that. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I completely do get what you're saying. It makes sense. It makes sense. Definitely. Definitely. So you put the zodiac signs up here. How do Christians respond to you when you show such an image? This is really intense.
Some of them are combative as we know them to be, but when you break it down into an understanding of like the 12 tribes and how the 12 chakra systems are aligned, with the inner body, and the 12 tribes is a story of the zodiacs, and how you go back into the Old Testament, each tribe of Israel on a was written on a stone that was related to the crystals, that was related to the chakras of the body, so on and so forth. So when you have enough knowledge to actually break it down using their book, it's hard for them to combat the information.
True. Well, so do any of them, once they've heard it and you've taught them and you've articulated it through all of those different avenues that you just spoke, do any of them look at it from a positive, like, that view, or what, do they accept it, or what? How do they positively express their the insight that they've received through learning from you?
Um, uh, Majority of the people take in a level of insight. They take in some of it, but they always have that I'm going to look into this more, or
Yeah.
they'll brush it off. For the sake of conversation, they'll come up with their different verses from the biblical text, and then we'll discuss the different verses from the biblical text, or so on and so forth. But for the most part, they have a level of combatants that comes with any group when a new nation is being born, or when a new level of learning is coming into this verse. Before before the Christians came into the picture, if you go back to the Christian crusades, I guess the Druids would have had the same notion when they came, or the Vikings would have had, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So
this image right here, where you see the 12 disciples here with Jesus, and their correspondences with stars of celestial bodies, or fixed planets, and then there's the
zodiac.
seasons.
Pardon? Oh, you said the seasons.
Yeah, but what did you say?
Zodiacs.
Yeah, zodiac. That too. Would you say that? Oh, I don't see the zodiacs, but of course the zodiacs correspond. Okay, there they are, the zodiac. So would this knowledge right here at this point in history, would this be what was from the Knights of Templar, from the Masons? Where at this point somebody knew? They knew, like.
I think it has to go back further than that, because if we're going just back to the Knights of Templar, then we're going back to a time of, Constantine. We're going back to like Constantine and the Council of Nicaea, because you remember this was, during the Christian Crusade, medieval times. But we have to go back further than that in order to find the origin of such. You have to go back, Sumerian gods. In fact, if you go back to the Mayans, right? The Mayans calendar shows you a particular calendar, and I'll show you the Mayans calendar right now so you can get an image of what it is that I'm speaking about. So the Mayans calendar shows you this right here. And you're looking at this and you're thinking it's a calendar. But the Mayans calendar is not a calendar. It's a map of the galaxy. If you look, the sun is in the center, but you count 13 circling around that particular sun, right? And that 13 is a representation of our 13 constellations or 13 zodiacs. See, before we knew about the 13 zodiacs, they took one of them out and only told us about the 12. It's the same thing they did with the calendar. They took the 13th month out, which was called Sol, and they left us with the 12, right? So this is something that they did, but the Mayans kept a history of the importance of 13, right? In our sky, if you count back 13, you will find yourself at the foot of Hercules. At the foot of Hercules lies the Golden Gate, right? Now, Christ representing Pisces, being a representation of the fish and coming in the Pisces era, which is a representation of feet. It is ironic that Hercules and Christ both share the same story. One is in the sky because at the foot of Hercules lies the Golden Gate, and one is of a physical story down here, which is Christ is the gate, the way, the light, and the truth, right?
Yes.
So, but they're both telling the same story. So when you're combing back through the history of mankind, you will actually find the similarity of every story inside of every story.
So do you have a
Grand Rising
list of the correspondences between these Mayan star celestial bodies or planets, and then what they are like in then like the Greek or the Roman vernacular? You know what I mean? So you know, like each name according to corresponding to them. Like me, I'm speaking English and Greek, and we're speaking Greek and Latin. Yeah, like that. Do you have like then show the Mayan correspondences with these names? These are like Greek and Latin, right?
Okay, let's try this
I
one.
just find it to be interesting. Whoa.
So like it's 88 constellations in our sky, and they had a grander understanding of this in olden times, you know, before, you know, a lot of these, you know, different mythologies took place, before a lot of these timeline shifts. There was an understanding of the 88 constellations. There was a merger, right? So however you look at this, some people like Zachariah Stitchens told the story with the story of Anubaru. Zachariah Stitchens. Yeah, Stitchens. He told the story of the planet Anubaru slamming into the planet Tamith. And this is where the Big Bang Theory comes into, right? So when you study the Big Bang Theory, they tell you that a massive noise took place in the universe that created existence or whatever it created, right? But this is the scientific notion of Big Bang Theory. No one really knows quite what took place. Zachariah Stitchens will tell you that, you know, Nubaru slammed into Tamith, and that what, you know, we're living on a piece of whatever was left, right? And in the notion of what takes place inside of one's body, there's two energy forces, a masculine and a feminine, that reaches at the pineal and runs into each other at the pineal. Same thing takes place inside the body, the same thing that took place in the story of the history of mankind. Ironically, as above, so below, as without, so within.
So these symbols here, are this the what are this is Greek? Is this Greek?
This is the symbols of the signs in the sky. So the astrology of the signs in the sky, a lot of different depictions. You can find these written on like the walls, right? So when you're studying like mythology and some of the old stuff that's, you know, on the walls and stuff like that, you'll find these different symbols because it's telling you and keeping track of the history of these different forces that might have came from these different you know, soul systems that are inside of our galaxy. So, you know, the 12 that are coming in, there's, you know, other energies that are pushing on that 12, which is our central sky. So if it was wrapped in a circle, you would have these right here, right, that are pushing into our central sky, right? But outside of them, there's more energies that are, or more constellations that are pushing into them, right? So it's like a merger of 24 and 24, and the 12 that merge from each 24 is inside of our 12. That's the 12 you see and the 12 you don't see. But each of them comes from a different piece of the two 24s that merge in, like two circles, coming together. So this circle consists of 24, that circle consists of 24. They come in, and then that what's in the middle is our 12, right?
Sun.
Yeah, that what's in the middle is our 12. And then it's the 12 you see and the 12 you don't see. And then when you press further into that, you get another 12 from 6 and 6, right? And then when you press into that, you get carbon, which is the chemical makeup of man.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Is it okay? I would like to.
Sure, you can pick my brain.
Those 12, you see where you showed the Last Supper scene. Who created that particular scene and knew that symbology? Who was that? Michelangelo. Who painted that? Was he commissioned to paint that by people who had deeper knowledge that they had?
Well, at the time there was books. You got to remember there was wars for libraries at that time, you know, so they fought for, you know, Alexander's library held a lot of information, you know, about a lot of stuff, you know, and they fought for these different libraries and stuff like that. So, you know, a lot of stuff was taken out of circulation. Allegedly, supposedly, there's 3 million books in the Vatican that's not in circulation in this plane. According to the book that once was, there was 550 something pages in the big book, and they broke it down into 3 different books, which you now know as the Quran, the Torah, and the Bible.
Whoa. So, do you think that this knowledge is also known by the Ethiopians, like the Depteras, the mystic priests? Because they're the ones that they have said that really, like a lot of Ethiopians have told me, like the ones who really want to speak about the truth of what's going on with the magic that's being practiced. They say it's the Depteras, the priests, that are the ones that are practicing those sciences in a nefarious way. Do you think that they have merged in or how would I say it? Yeah, they've like merged or tethered like that science.
I mean, through the history,
like magic.
I mean, through the history of this world, we have learned that they have gathered all different types of knowledge and secrets. We know that. We know that there's a play for, you know, certain, you know, artifacts that could affect things. We know that, you know, Iran and Iraq right now holds, you know, certain portals or gates that they are, you know, disturbing or whatever the case may be. We know that a lot of the things that, you know, the Ethiopians speak of holds truth, and this is why they still go by a different calendar that puts them in 2016 right now. You know, so we know that they held true to a lot of the original. I mean, we don't go by a Dewey Decimal System no more, but we did go by a Dewey Decimal System. And if you break down the numbers of the gods of the Sumerian gods, then you'll see that, you know, time is created based off of the knowledge of the Sumerian gods, you know, Enki being a representation of 60 and Lil being a representation of 50, you know, and so on and so forth. So when you look at it, someone had a grander level of knowledge that allowed them to put us into a spell that is operating our frequency, that allows us to stay trapped within inside of our own mind and not, you know what I mean?
Sounds about right. That really sounds about right.
I mean, someone had the knowledge to put all of this together to trap us here, right?
Yeah.
So
that sounds about right, man. Like this here, sun, brain, like can you explain that? Like this is what is this?
Okay, so the 12 apostles that sit around God, all right? This is the 12 apostles that sit around God, and this is where we come with the lunar cycles, right? With the cycles that took place, right? The first cycle, and this is where the Mayans calendar comes in too, right? So the first cycle, which is Aries, if you go counterclockwise, you got Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. This makes up Mercury. This is the physical plane, right? And then you have Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. This is the, you know, emotional plane. This is where the earth and the moon comes in, right? And then you have Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. This is your mental brain. This is where Saturn comes in, right? And now this is the Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. This is where spiritual comes in, right? So that those 3 times right there, the when we came out of the Capricorn, the Aquarius, and the Pisces time, right? That was the time of belief, right? So we were in a time of I believe. You see Pisces as a time of I believe, right? And then as we move into this Aquarius sky, because now that we have reached that point of, you know, the full circle of the 12, it's like a bounce back. So imagine us going this way, right? And then it hitting right here and then bouncing back like boing. And now we're going back this way.
Right. So where are we now?
We're in the age of Aquarius, which is a 13th lunar cycle.
You know what I was thinking? Just because I'm always like thinking and studying, what do you think about like different cultures that have like just modern day that have certain like what would we say? They have certain like cultural like totems or gods or deities, like their main one that governs. Do you think like this chart? I was thinking, oh, if we knew like different cultures, like main like archetypical totem, we could then see where they fit like on this particular diagram.
If we understood where they were located at or where the energies was coming from.
Yeah, where the energies are exactly where the energies
mainly
where they operate on this based upon this it's like a cosmic map or
yeah, it's a cosmic map because this is because your brain runs off of these energies, you know.
And
we have to
mirror like us. It's like a cosmic brain. It's like a macrocosmic reflection of the microcosm. Do you believe in that, or is that?
This is on a collective scale. Yes, this is on a collective scale. Yeah. So this is that, but you know, on a collective scale of, you know, understanding that it is connected. You get what I'm saying? So these are the different energies that are coming in throughout. So certain energies come in through these portals every 2 hours. So every 2 hours we're in, you know, this zodiac sign. Every 2 hours we're in that zodiac sign. Every 2 hours we're in it. You get what I'm saying? Just like the clock, right? But on a grander scale, right? These are how these energies are operating on a grander scale.
Uh-huh.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So now you're looking at taking time out of the equation because time doesn't exist in the universe, right?
Right.
So now you take time out of the equation, and now you're looking at a scale of, you know, Aquarius or Uranus being a planetary energy. Now Uranus rules for 2,000 and 2,600 years. Saturn ruled for 2,2600 years. So this whole era was the age of Saturn, right? And now we're in the Aquarius age, which is Uranus. And now this era, which will be the next 26,000 years, will be the eight or the energy that is coming in through Uranus, right? So Uranus is the in charge planet of the Aquarius sky.
Uh-huh.
Like Saturn was the in charge planet of the Pisces sky.
You know, when you were speaking about, like, you were speaking earlier, and it was making me think about people's minds. Remember when you were talking about people's minds being locked into like a certain, like imprisoned or like enslaved in they're like they're imprisoned,
Greece.
psychologically imprisoned or energetically imprisoned. It kind of made me think about those like complex sigils that are GOETIA. You know which ones I'm talking about? They look like almost like they're like combination locks.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And you can say that. You can say partly that. And the reason why I say you can say that, because if you actually look at everything that is, it is like that. Look at your fingerprint. Your fingerprint is like that. You know, don't your fingerprint looks like one of those combination locks? Doesn't it look like one of those, you know, however they depict our planet with the little
Yeah.
circle around it, you know, the eye of a storm, you know, all of it looks similar to that of which, you know, once was or always was, as above, so below, you know, as without, so within. So when you're looking at it, you're looking at
But do you think that they inverted the original, like, proper way of looking at it? Do you think that maybe their interpretation may have been off? You know what I mean? Like some people, you show them something and they just like invert it, or they just see it from or they're not able to like vibrate in the natural rhythm of its unique it's the natural rhythm of the cosmic expression. Is that am I kind of clear? I don't know.
I think it's because some people block their self off from the consciousness of it. You know, I think some people block their self off from the consciousness of it unknowingly, and then some people do it knowingly. You ever get to a point where it's like you know, think about someone who's striving to do something, right? But by the time they, you know, get the recognition for doing it, they done did so much or corrupted themselves so much that the recognition is like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like what? So, you know, you think about it like that, you know, we as a collective, mankind as a whole, we feel like we okay, don't take this wrong, okay? We collectively feel like we failed, so we don't want to represent ourselves to the universe again.
So if I took that wrong, what would be the wrong that I would take it as?
The wrong would be making it seem like I'm okay with the direction that we're going in, giving up.
Okay, that's a good analogy.
But like I'm not saying that because I still have hope. I still have, you know, I still have faith in us collectively that
what gives you that strength to have the faith? I mean, mine is kind of waned. It seems so much like conflict. With so many, excuse me, with so many different peoples, and like from the islands and here in America, you know, and like Africa, mine has kind of waned. I don't know if maybe my vision was not the right vision, like
I think it's
unification.
perception, right? At one point, I stopped looking at the negatives in the world.
Yeah,
I analyze, you know, Africa being in such a disarray that the whole plane is splitting apart. I analyze, you know, how much division it is in the world. I analyze our politics and our corruption in it. I did all of that already. You know,
yeah,
I had my cries, you know. I stopped looking at that, and I started looking at our youth and how willing our youth is willing to get along, open up their minds to get along. You know, they are at a level of acceptance that we never thought we can be at, right? Whereas though people was put in a sane asylum for having feelings for the same sex. But look at us now, you know, where people couldn't even think outside the box. People running around identifying as furries, you know, their minds are way more opened up to change than ours are. We become set in our ways. We became creatures of habit. We're stiff necked, you know. But if you look at the youth, they are willing to, they just don't have the examples, but they want it so bad. They just don't have the examples to follow behind. They not the society that we have today is not a society based off of, you know, do as I say, not as I do. They need to see it. But the idols that we have that's put in play are, you know, they don't reflect that greater good that's inside of us.
Right.
And
Wow.
if we had,
You articulated so much so well, and in a very simplistic way. Your diagrams are great. Your diagrams are really good. They really just makes it very, very simple.
Only because I yearn and ask the universe on a daily basis for a level of understanding that will allow me to reach the multitude. Like I literally, you know, beg the like you know what I mean? I go back and forth with the universe and ask them for a level of understanding to reach other people. That's it. And the universe just gives me a better way to articulate or, you know, bring forth certain variations of knowledge that all the knowledge is already inside of all of us. The universe is just giving me a better way to reach a level of understanding with people. And the universe.
So, would you say that where you said that earlier that the people have forgotten? Do you think it's like a temporary sleep?
It has to be because this is not something that I studied for. This is not something that I wanted to be. This is not something that my parents taught. I don't have no professors in my blood, like, you know what I mean, like my uncles and stuff like that. You say what?
You're awakened. You're waking up.
Yeah, so like that's why I say like it has to be something that takes place within inside the vessel that allows certain levels to wake up, you know, and you wake up to, you know, a level of teaching. You wake up to a level of, and the universe gives you it's like finding your calling almost, and the universe start providing you with, you know, things belong to you. Okay, here you can use this. You know what I mean? Da, 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 da. So, you know, having the gift of gab, having the ability to talk, it goes a long way because we're in a society where people want a logical explanation. You know, you can't just be like, hey, it's it because my pastor said so. We ain't nobody trying to hear because your pastor said so no more. Not at the TD Jakes.
What do you think about metaphysical science and magic and the ancient time?
Like, what do you mean when you say that? Like,
Militaristic strategy. Did certain cultures that dealt with metaphysical science and they dealt with deities. Did they also integrate um, magic in their warfare strategies?
yes,
According to like
you can go back. You
celestial,
can.
according to like, because like when I watch like movies, like say for instance, like Chinese movies, right? And it shows like the emperors, and I noticed that they always talk about astrology and as auspicious times to do things according to the the stars, the cosmos, and that's like a regular. Even today, they're heavy into astrology. They do a lot of things according to that, and they did, hundreds of years, hundreds of thousands of years ago. So I was just wondering, do you think that the other cultures integrated magic and into, or yeah, magic or metaphysical science and into their military as a militaristic strategy when going to war?
Okay,
Like they
now
dealt with the they dealt with the planet layouts, they dealt with
they are
yeah,
still
like
doing this.
transit
They still
rituals.
do this. They still do this to this day. Okay.
Mm,
Now, when you break this down, you're going to get what is considered to be Castle Camelot, right? This goes back to the Knights of the Round Table, the Rainbow Round Table, the understanding. This is why they chanted certain things. This is why they actually had, priesthoods that was a part of, battle. If you look at the chessboard, before they had a queen on the chessboard, there was a piece on the chessboard that was called the Archbishop. That was the original piece of where the queen was. It was considered to be the archbishop, right? And you can look at certain movies and certain things going back into mending weapons and stuff like that, where they actually chanted or did certain things, when making these weapons, when forging these weapons, so on and so forth. Some weapons of which might have been forged in blood. We don't know, right? Because we're not in the time of mending, metal and whatever. But they tell you different stories about this. They tell you, the elves had a way of, putting magic into metal. And, they, had the Salem witch trial where they binded people from using their hands or, their tongue, certain variations. So they have these stories within our history. It's etched out throughout the history of this world that there was some sort of, power within, putting a collective, even the story of David and Goliath, you know what I mean? A lot of these stories had a collective behind it, for so many people believed in one person, they were able to go out and battle like this. Even if you go back to the story of Helen and, Troy, you go back to that story, and these are times where they tell people, like, your body will perish but your name will be etched in history. And here we are still talking about the Trojan Wars without even knowing that we're talking about the Trojan Wars.
mm,
So however you look at this, history is repeating itself. That's the only way that we can have a physical story of what's taking place in the sky. That means it had to take place in the sky first, and then we physically seen someone put theirself in operation of that. I mean, look at me. I'm sitting here with the name of Energy of Atlas. Atlas being one of the titans that was punished to hold up the constellations. And here I am speaking about moon, stars, and quasars. Can't stop speaking about moon, stars, and quasars. No matter what I put myself in operation of, the universe sits me back down and says, this is what I'm asking you to do. This is what I'm asking you to do. Right? and I keep on trying to say, well, I gotta do this. I gotta get the funds to take care of this, to make sure that I'm able to sit here and bring the people the knowledge and the wisdom on a regular basis. I got to get the and the universe is like, they'll come to you. They'll come to you. And people are coming, but for the last 4 or 5 years, I have more people stealing different variations of my knowledge and running off and, creating carnal things with it. And I'm okay with that, because I know deep down inside, I'll rub off on them before they rub off on me. It just, when you are put here on a greater cause and the universe is saying, now go find your collective, go put together your collective, it's hard to get to that collective because it's the carnal minded people were already ready for us to pop out. You know what I mean? So, it's like Cat Williams said. Cat Williams said that Cat Williams said, your enemy knows who they looking for more than you know who you looking for. You say what?
Say it again. The enemy knows who who. Say it again.
So like I said, the enemy knows who you looking for more than you know who you looking for. What's going on, Lady Letitia? How are you? Yeah, that's the enemy knows who you looking for more than you know who you looking for. So we all supposed to be down here searching for God's people. We all supposed to be down here searching for a messenger. The enemy knows a messenger returned. We feel like a messenger returned, but we don't know who we looking for. The messenger don't even know.
Distract us from our inside, because what we could be possibly looking for outside of us is really the inner voice that helps to save us on our inner voice.
I mean, that's why they keep you distracted with certain things, so you won't have the time to search inside. Lady Letitia, what's going on with you? Love is love. Namaste, I say. Salutations, shalom, peace. Glad you can join us today. Ren Stational. Oh, hold on. Is Ren Stational in here? All right, hold on. We got this song, courtesy of you. And I'm going to play it again. The new album is out. Your song is on it. We do appreciate it. And here, available on Spotify and all other places. And this song is a hitter right here. We're going to put a video out to this song real soon too. So we appreciate you.
You spy and lie, you boast, always gotta do the most behind my back. When you're faced with all the facts, you switch right up, you don't remember all of that. Showing off like you're in a pageant, bragging on about your status. Little do they know there's a real dark method to your madness. All the hate you brew inside, tragic. From a monster to the victim, play the role so well, dramatic. Is that it? Moving on, now it's time for me to work. Wave my magic wand. You're no match for me or the power of my tongue. Let me show you how it's done. I need to terrorize you for fun. Demon be gone. You're a narcissist, can't hide it when it shows. Tied down by your traumas and now they won't let you go.
Yeah, we have singers and writers and they
you lose at your own game. You're a narcissist. It's always your way. It's your lane. Doesn't matter what I try to say. Decline. You want what's mine. Try to bring me down. Try to take me out, but you can't steal my shine. You always want to start a fight. No rules. Never can you lose. No clue to why you always gotta be right. Tell me why you're so uptight. If it's all for show. Gotta let shit flow, gotta let shit go. Can't dwell on it your whole life. Get back, I don't want your static. Nothing but a drama addict. Those repeated cycles. I have studied all your habits, but the way you stare at me, you savage. Try to pawn your pain on me. Return to sender with that package of trash. Moving on. Now it's time for me to work. Wave my magic wand. No more dragging me through the dirt. Teach you right from wrong. Once that truth turns to karma, you're done. Demon be gone. You're a narcissist. Can't hide it when it shows.
That is
by your traumas and now they won't let you go. You're a narcissist. lose at your own game. You're a narcissist. It's always your way. It's your lane. Doesn't matter what I try to say. Define. You want what's mine. Try to bring me down, try to take me out, but you can't steal my shine. Try to take my soul, try to switch them roles. That destiny swapping, mocking, blocking shit. It's a no-go, all that ego doesn't fit. Only care for the glam, only care for the glitz. Way too grubby, but you wanna give gifts. Indian giver on a power trip, acting like you rich. All the money in the world wouldn't change your attitude. Love bomb if you want, won't change my point of view on you as you laugh and you flaunt. Take your exit too. You're no match for the highest with authority over you. True. Now back to the money. Say you built the hive, forcing me the honey. Don't wanna be exposed, so you're acting all chummy. No one is around, now you wanna act funny. Bummy, pick a personality, many burn bridges. Friendship fatality, you see it one
It's
way.
great.
I
It's
see
great.
duality like
The
calories.
writer
Burn away
is
them dark
Wednesday Snow.
principalities. You're a narcissist, can't hide it when it shows. Tied down by your traumas, and now they won't let you go. You're a narcissist.
Yes, so the album is out. And it's on Spotify for the night now. Spotify, Amazon, iHeartMusic, on the Atlas.
Doesn't matter what I try to say.
I get a nice
You want what's mine. Try to bring me down, try to take me out, but you can't steal my shine.
Once again, if you guys send the videos to the Discord of you guys lip singing any of the songs, we'll incorporate it into the videos when we make the videos of the songs.
Give you nothing, 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 nothing. You're a narcissist. It's always your way. It's your lane.
It's been an honor. Thank you so much for having me as a guest up on the platform. And yeah, I started to follow you, and yeah, you did a really great job. And yeah, I'll see you again.
All right. Absolutely. I'm going to give you a follow back. Let me, hold on. All right. Yeah, let me give you a follow back. Right there. And I appreciate you for following. I appreciate you coming up. I appreciate you for bringing your level of conversation to the table and just your insight and everything like that. So greatly appreciate it.
Awesome. And tell that young lady it's a great song. Very good song.
She hears you. Or, you know.
Okay. Take care.
No problem. You have a great one.
Peace and bliss.
Same.
Shit.
I say. So yeah, greater things is happening right now in this verse. I think the unification of all things is taking place if we allow it, right? One has to be willing to open up, and get out of that mindset of the linear thinking. We did a lot of linear thinking in the times previous, we did a lot of linear thinking. We allowed certain variations of knowledge to be passed down without the actual knowing of this stuff. So now we have to get into a knowing type of mentality. And it's okay to accept, that we didn't know a lot of stuff. It's okay to say that, we have to learn again. It's okay to say that we have to learn things new. Learning is fun. Learning is good. Never think that you are too old to learn. That's why they have those sayings that say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, or, we're creatures of habits, or we're set in our ways, because we are all set in our ways. We are all, creatures of habits. So now it's like we got to shake it off. Now we gotta, get out of those habits, dare to do something different, dare to unify different, you know what I mean? So we just have to unify differently now. It's a different level of unification, and it's okay. It's okay. Don't be afraid to make the connections with people. That's why they're on the internet trying to make you, disconnect yourself from people. That's why they're trying to make you, oh man, don't go. That's why you don't mess with these people on the internet. That's why you don't go do this. That's why I'll never let them because they don't want you to unify with us. They don't want you to unify with us. They don't want you to stand for righteousness. They don't want you to stand for what's right. They don't want that. They want you to be stuck in the mind of, this, operation of, I don't need nobody, blah, blah, blah. right? But we're not in that time anymore. All right. Greater things is happening. Is that the pot?
Yeah, make more coffee.
Okay. Greater things are happening. A lot of things that are happening right now is a lot of things that's happening right now is part of what is, always was, and always will be. It's the great reset. Um y'all see the madness that is the Diddy trial. Y'all see what's going on. Y'all see the facade that's taking place outside, the circus that's taking place. That all of that could be a distraction. All of that could be a distraction. I say could be. The reason why I say could be is because, when you're looking at this world, you know, there's so much happening in this world. So much happening, right? But I just want to let you guys know that I'm thankful that for everybody that's, a part of this, a part of the, Atlas family, representation, and just helping build it from the ground, right? We got a lot more obstacles to get over. We got a lot more things that are going to get in the way. We're going to stumble a couple of more times, but I greatly appreciate, everything and everybody, and, how you guys are, providing and going about providing. It's greatly appreciative. I appreciate it. Uh, a lot of times on YouTube we go through the struggles because it's a fight. You know what I mean? It's a fight out here to try to find good people, find the right people. It's a fight. uh we acknowledge that fight exists. We recognize that fight exists. We recognize that people are going through it, with inside themselves. There's a hell of a lot of people that's going through it. Hell of a lot of people that's struggling and fighting inside their own self. You know, we recognize that. Now, can we, get people out of it? Yes, in the future, when we get to a place where we can, constantly help. Yes. Right now, people are looking for instant gratification, if you would say. You know, they want that instant help. They want that, they thinking that, help and so many people right now that are in, financial binds are looking for that easy way too. There's so many people that's in financial binds right now, and we're gonna get there slowly but surely. That's why I say just go ahead and invest. Just invest into the homestead. Just invest into the Atlas program. Right. That's what we should call it. The Atlas program. Invest into the Atlas program, right? And then you're gonna reap the benefits of it. You know what I mean? If it could be a youth program, you know what I mean? It could be a youth thing. We could bring the youth out here, you know what I mean? But we gotta have the ability to support it. We gotta have the ability to support it. I am looking up some government funds as far as the LLC goes, see if I can get some government assistance. um, Maybe go around to some different businesses around here and see if they're going to want to, support or help. There's options. I'm looking at different options to try to get this off the ground as quickly as possible, right? For those who are, helping out, for those who are, putting in, all is greatly appreciated, you know, and we just moving towards greater things. I know that there's, now's a good time to share. We made a page for you. I thought it was already a page. Do they make a page every time a new album come out?
It should be the same address though. The link address. And yes, they do.
Every time?
Mhm.
Let me see. Yeah, we trying to put together, man, listen. Oh, okay, that's the same thing. Yeah, we trying to put together a lot of stuff, you know. We're trying to put together a lot of stuff. Patience is a virtue. So we're being patient in it all. Um, you know, and that's the truth, you know, being patient in it all. Uh so it's all gonna happen. It's all gonna happen. Um and it's just happening better now. I'm gonna say it's happening better now, you know, because life, life has a way of throwing things at you, and sometimes you gotta, stick it out in order to see the because there's a diamond in there. You just got to get through the rough, you know. You got to get through the rough, you know. Once you get through the rough, that's it. You get through the rough, and there's a diamond in the rough, you know. And that's the reality of it. But a lot of people don't stick around. A lot of people can't get through the rough. A lot of people don't make it through it. You can see the buildings from the air, and trees are still where. But look around you. I'm pretty sure you can see the great things that's happening around you. I'm pretty sure that you could probably see some great things that's happening around you, and that's to me, if you ask me, all these things that's happening, some of the things that's happening, you could say like, oh, okay. But look, man, I don't know where y'all at, but I'm gonna find y'all. Y'all are the helpers. I know it says the meek, you know, the meek shall inherit the earth. You know what I mean? You know, but reality is changing. Reality is changing, whether we like it or not. Reality is changing. You're not going to be able to, it basically the bull crap that you see is not going to be here. A lot of stuff is, coming out of the, forefront of things now. A lot of things are being, you know, shown. A lot of things are being shown to people in this reality. You know what I mean? So, when you get to the bottom of it and you finally look at it, you're going to be like, oh, wow, he was right, because listen, greater things is happening. Greater things is happening. You know, that's it. That's all you can say is greater things is happening. I'm ready to be a part of greater things. I hope you ready to be a part of greater things. You know what I mean? Because those things is happening. And that's just it. The Schumann resonator is showing things happening. The Schumann resonator is showing greater things happening. You might not understand the frequencies that's happening, but it's happening. And the reality of it is we're all a part of it. No one, big, small, I don't think it matters what role you playing. All you need to know is we are all a part of it, you know? That's all you need to know. And that's okay. And that's a good thing. That is a good thing that we all a part of it. I always wanted to be a part of something great. You know, I didn't know how much I was going to be a part of it. And I didn't know how greatly I was going to be a part of it. But I always wanted to be a part of something great. you know, and I'm happy. I'm happy it's here. I'm happy, greatness is here, you know. I'm happy that, that this greatness is happening because it's happening, you know. And they say, I couldn't wait for the return of this, the return of that. Well, it all returned and y'all are not as excited as I thought you guys would be, you know, when, Christ's energy returned. I thought you guys was going to be a lot happier for the return of, Christ's energy, you know what I mean? Thought you guys would be a lot happier, with the return of Christ's energy and everything. But you guys are not as happy as I thought, you know? You guys are not as happy as I thought, with the return of this energy, you know? And that's okay. That's okay. You guys didn't understand, knowledge and wisdom was going to return. And, there's a such thing as universal knowledge. We're all in it. We in it together, and we making the best of it. We got, we doing great things, We are definitely doing great things. Anything, Kramer? Mm-mm. They know. They know all of this stuff is about artifacts. That's why that's why, it's not a big deal. Like whatever they show to people is not really a big deal what you see. They got these artifacts, you know what I'm saying? These about the artifacts. You gotta get the artifacts, you know. Artifacts exist, you know what I mean? That's what this is about. Artifacts. But life is looking great, I think life is looking great right now, if you ask me. I think there's a lot of change happening and there's a lot of change to come. I think a lot of people are not recognizing, this change. They are not really understanding it, and it's okay. It's okay because this is reality. And in reality, a lot of people are not going to understand what's happening, but those who do understand what's happening, kudos for you. Those who is feeling the energies, kudos for you. Kudos that you're feeling the energies, you know what I mean? And anybody who is going through whatever it is that you think you might be going through, you're not really going through it. Okay? Yes, your vessel is going through some trials and tribulations. Yes, there's certain things that you might have to, get past in order to, reach a certain level of understanding inside yourself, right? But if you truly want that level of understanding, then you are going to get there. You are going to reach it. You are going to reach that level of understanding. And that's point blank. But, for those who are like, for those who are, playing with this whole, spiritual thing, for those who playing with this whole growth thing, you'll go through whatever it is that you need to go through, and then eventually you'll have to take it serious. Eventually you'll have to, be honest about whatever it is that's going on. because right now this is happening on a grander scale. On a grander scale, this is happening. Not just like, oh, individually you can make whatever you want out of what's taking place. You could be like, oh man, that ain't happening. That's just like global warming. They said global warming was real. Blah 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 blah. I ain't seen no reaction to global. You listen, that ain't got nothing to do with this. Obviously, something is changing inside your light body. You know, obviously, something is changing inside your light body because everybody feels the change, everybody feels the shift. You know, and you can keep on acting like you don't feel it. You can keep on acting like it ain't happening. You can keep on acting like it ain't. It's happening. It is happening. It's happening. And it's great. All right. So, you know, we moving towards greater things. You know, we got some great stuff happening out here at the farm. You know, y'all know y'all gonna support it. We're gonna put some videos out too later on of, you know, the improvement. We got to try to get some more hay to try to get the the chicken coop. I want to try to, you know, clean that up a little bit better, clean the chicken coop up a little bit better, make that look a little bit nicer. And we got a lot more stuff to do out here on the farm. I'm hoping to get some more funds coming through. I got to go to a couple of restaurants and see if they're going to let me get their like leftover foods and stuff like that, so I can have a little bit more food to give bacon out there, you know, the pig. But listen, I'm grateful for everybody that's, you know, helping out, you know, that's participating in this growth, in this level of development, you know, in this, you know, love light movement. Whether you want to believe it or not, great things is happening around you guys, you know, for the collective that we are creating, you know, for the energies that we are creating. There is great things happening. And then if the neighbor do let us get some goats, we got to get the stuff to be able to. We got to get them fields cut. I gotta we gotta at least find some push lawnmowers. We gotta go somewhere. Maybe we can go pick up a couple of push lawnmowers, or maybe his brother or somebody can drop off some push lawnmowers. Maybe he can ask, you know.
His farmer friend might have some equipment we can borrow.
We need to ask. We need to get him to ask if it's some equipment we can borrow somewhere or something like that, because the grass is getting out of control. We gotta, you know. And plus, I wanted to try to do something with that chicken coop as far as like spreading that hay out more, or getting all of that grass out of there. You know, right here. Hold on. Let me put a song on. We can close this out. We're going to go live again in less than an hour. We're going to take like an hour, maybe a 2-hour break, and then we're going to go live again. We're going to go live as much as possible today. So tune in. I'm going to schedule a couple of lives right now. So I'm trying to be available to you guys more, and, you know, create a space of, you know, good, positive conversation, a little bit of laughter, a little bit of music, a little bit of love, all of that good stuff. So just be in the moment with us. Be in with us. Hold on, not that one. That's a beef one. Bobcat, what you doing? Clean up. Zena, come here. Come here.
If someone says I told you so, then what is destiny? 'Cause if I know, then I can show the very best of me. Dividing lines, dividing times, sometimes not our choosing. If we want more, we should explore. There will be no losing. Let love guide you. Let love be the light. Let love guide you. Let love be the light. Let love guide you. Let love be the light. It's inside you, shining day and night. If someone says I know the way, should we just go follow?
Mary has such a bag.
Or do the ones who take the lead end up feeling hollow? Blurring lines and blurring times, this is what they're doing. 'Cause if we know inside our hearts, then it's worth pursuing. Let love guide you.